Architects are very occupied. They are always occupied with everything except architecture, that they should somehow solve the climate crisis. So we build these green buildings. We put grass on the roof or something silly like that. But the most important, the biggest contribution to CO2 emissions of a building is when it's built. The longer lifespan a building has, the more green it is. How do you make a building a long lifespan? You add value beyond mere function. A building is ecological when people want to preserve it. Otherwise it's not ecological. And we don't want to preserve ugly buildings, we tear them down.
In the UK, we demolish 50,000 buildings a year. The average age of a commercial building in the UK is 40 years.
Steel, glass, plastics, copper and other major building materials together more than double the embodied energy requirements of our planet's construction demands, which are currently met overwhelmingly from fossil fuels. Renewables are not close to taking over this energy supply. So what can history do to help? In architecture schools, design tutors and historians need to change the way we talk about modernism. Modernism, the most researched and most taught period of architectural history, was the architecture of cheap, abundant fossil fuels.
The reason why we're not building beautiful is because of modernist ideology.
Sustainable architecture will not look like modernism with louvers and solar panels. Cultural historians have long felt squeamish about instrumentalizing their work. The past should be understood in its own terms, and extracting didactic lessons from it was suspicious and distorting. I would argue, though, that in the face of the massive and urgent challenge facing the human species to get to net zero carbon emissions by 2050 at the latest, we must come out of our intellectual bunker. We need to allow history to help us understand the profundity of the challenge and to see not only how very historically anomalous our current global energy consumption is, but also how fundamentally it has shaped every aspect of modernity, from social structure to building design.
We talk about social sustainability. Well, what is more social sustainable than buildings that lift people's spirits? People are lifted in their spirits. If you walk in this environment, you get happy. Not that you think of the building, but unconsciously, this is a very harmonious environment.